All right, Coach. You're officially, in the MAC tournament. You take on Toledo this Friday. Can you just touch on, the fact that, we split with them earlier in the year? Off the top of my head, we had one night where we had a big 5-set win, and then they got us the following. But what are you expecting from the Rockets, and what do you think it's going to take to walk out of there with a W that first night?
Yeah, I think they're a good physical team. They're in a 5-1. They've got some big, strong kids, and um, they've been good now for a couple years. So um, we don't have to play them at their place. So I think that kind of evens the playing field from the serve and pass battle. I mean, I think that's the fun part about the conference tournaments is like you don't really have a advantage there, serve and pass wise. So I think that will help our kids and mentally with an edge there that it's an even playing ground. And um, we think we can beat them. I think they were good. They had a great year. They were coming off a great year the following year, and we're hungry and we're not afraid to play those guys. So we'll be physical and make some of the adjustments from the first time. I think we're a different team than we were a month and a half ago. I mean, we've found ways to win and battle through things. We've tweaked our lineups in very different instances. So I'm excited about it. I think our team is confident. We watched film today actually on the match the last time we played them, and there was a lot of oohs and ahs and eye coverings of things we can do better. So we're very optimistic. We're fired up. Obviously, we're internally proud of hitting our goal of making the tournament, and now we've time to re-raise the bar and win that first match.
In what ways, have you just kind of talked to your team? Like, what have been your points of emphasis? Obviously, young team, you have a lot of freshmen and just underclassmen that are playing. And just in general, even the upperclassmen haven't been in this type of environment before. Now I know that we've had some big matches this year. We've had plenty of 5-setters, a lot of moments where they were under the pressure. But is there anything that you've kind of just tried to hone in or just talk about, especially with just being in that moment, trying not to let the lights just get too bright?
Yeah, I think you talk about it. I think you address the fact this is for pretty much everyone on the team the first sort of tournament game they've played in. In what can we control? So, we have to have a great week of practice. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We still have to keep getting better. The things that we've, each kid always has a checklist of things that they're working on. Like, can we get a little bit, can we move the needle a little bit? And then from the serve and pass game, can we be confident? Can we play at the level? We've had the reps now. It's November. Can we stay in that zone and at times maybe find 5 or 10% more, above what we've been doing, and you're going to need to do that to beat a team like Ball State, assuming you can get a W on Friday. So, just like really staying in the positive mindset of like, we've got to be tough. We have to keep pushing. Now is not the time to pull back and play safe, take big swings, control the things that you can. Take care of your bodies, right? Like a lot of people are tired and sick and beat up from the season, but everybody is at this point. So kind of just doing everything in our power to show up Friday night with a full tank of gas, feel like we're prepared, not only out on the court, but what we've done with film, and go a little bit deeper than we normally do. Cause one, we've played them. Two, this is, it's a must win match. Right. And I think that's, it's exciting. I think it's exciting for me, especially for the younger players. Them getting to do this now won't be as foreign next year. So I'm obviously excited about the match and happy for our seniors, but for the future of the program as well, I'm really grateful we get to do this and put these freshmen through this.
You touched on, the chance to take on the Cardinals the following day with a win. I know it's at this point match by match, but have you put much thought into the number one seed?
No, it's just like I've learned now. You just focus on one at a time. We'll have scouting reports and stuff, ready for them. I think you where coaches get in trouble, when you then go play that Nebraska like or Ball State team of your conference, is you try to do things totally different than you're used to, and that's usually never a good strategy. You just have to be disciplined, and you've got to be a little more crisp at things, and you've got to take a little more risks here and there. But our goal is beat Toledo. You beat Toledo. Now you've got a practice match under your belt is I think the best way to look at it. And you're free rolling. Like Ball State should beat us, but it's, it's kind of the David versus Goliath mentality in that sense. And I think players play free, they play hard. It's volleyball, like crazy stuff happens. The ball hits the net. People have bad games. People can get injured or sick or whatever by the time, Saturday night shows up. So control what you can control, and do it with confidence. Everybody in this league's beatable if you play well. If we played our very best match, we can beat everybody in this league. And that's what you're always working on as a program, is trying to get to a point where everyone's playing as tough as they can, as hard as they can, and as clean as they can.
Yeah. You do come into this match with some momentum. You've had a really strong finish to the season. Obviously, a large part of why you got in here. Um, I know that you've touched on it throughout the season. It's going to be different people stepping up, trying different things. But I just wanted to touch on, you have a couple players who have really come on strong these last week and a half. And Molly Creech this past week and, had a monster, statistically played really well. Do you see it being one of those, a weekend where your best players lead, or do you think it'll be something where, it might be a mixture of players that kind of help out?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is when you get to the tournament, you need your best players to be the best. They need to step up and have big matches and be solid. And even if someone has a shaky match, they've still got to be able to take care of their one-on-ones and play within their range. So, I fully expect Molly to keep going. Every time that kid gets out there, she's one more match behind, under her belt, and one little piece of coaching or feedback during the match. And she's a very rare player who can take it and make the change right away. So I think we'll play well. I think, especially our younger, you could look at us and say, hey, we're playing at times four freshmen. I think sometimes that's a strength, because to them, it's, I don't really think the pressure really gets to them. They're just going to go out and do what they're supposed to do. And it's November now. So, really, they're not freshmen anymore in my book, as far as volleyball players. So we're excited. It's a great opportunity for us, the program, the players individually. Our goal is to win Friday night, and then we will throw everything we can at Ball State, and hopefully put ourselves in a position to walk into Sunday. You never know. You win 3 matches, you're in the NCAA tournament. It's one of the reasons I came here. I talked about that the first time I did a press conference. It's the great thing about the MAC, and is you can get yourself into this tournament, go on a heater, find yourself in the championship match on Sunday, and get into the NCAA tournament. So it's really cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to go coach there and give it everything we've got.